For EP, climbing walls and handholds is our business, but that's really not why we're here. We're here to enrich people's lives and introduce climbing to the world. We know that once somebody gets an opportunity to go indoors and climb on a climbing wall, that they're going to be hooked and they're going to be a climber for life.
Hello and welcome to Haiyang in China. After a brief stint in North America, we are now back on Asian soil for the next stage of the IFSC 2014 season with a World Cup in each of our 3 disciplines. Over the next 2 days, we will see the second Boulder and Speed World Cup in China and the first Lead World Cup of this year. After a vibrant opening ceremony, the city of Haiyang, home to 690,000 people, held its breath as athletes from all reaches of the globe descended upon the local venue and prepared to ascend our 3 different competition walls.
Good morning and welcome to the beachfront here in Haiyang, where we are waiting for our 40 athletes, 20 men and 20 women, to come out here and have an attempt at this wall here in front of us. An exciting day of coverage for you coming through today. My name is Daniel Finn and I'll be with you all the way through today here. And as always, you can get in touch with us live here at the venue using the hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter. If you want to get in touch with us, you know where to go. I'll be tuning into that one as often as I possibly can as we move through today. So we start things off with our bouldering semi-finals here, and then we're going to be moving on to our speed qualifying rounds and through to the speed finals later on. And then after that, we'll be back for the bouldering final. So here is how they got on yesterday. As you can see on your screen now, Akio Noguchi, the only athlete here to have managed to top all of the routes in the women's qualifying round. Shauna Coxey following in a close second there, just missing out on problem 5 yesterday. Just 4 problems as per usual here today. Sarah Sol there in 3rd, Anna Storr in 4th, Petra Pingler in 5th. Anna Storr doing pretty well as well, only missing 1 of the blocks there in total. And then going down further into Nanaka Mio, Yulova Aya Noe, Dinara Fakutanova and Katerina Starwine. We have 20 female athletes through today. Let's have a look at the top 10 for the men now then. Exciting day in the qualifying round yesterday saw Guillaume Clairemonde topping out at the very top of the list here, 5 in 6 on the bonuses, and managing to top all but 1 of the problems here also. Chon Jung-woon, who's had a pretty good run recently actually, he came 4th in Toronto just a little while back. Dmitry Sharafutinov in 3rd, Horis Kuru in 4th, Park Ji-won in 5th, and Andrzej Merzinski Victor in 6th, although we didn't look too happy about it yesterday. Higuchi Mashiro in 7th. Alexei Rubutsov, it's been a while since we've seen him for Russia, but he's back here and in 8th place after yesterday. And then Sho McCall and Lee Donggun, the other athletes we had for us here. Those were our top 10 in both categories, top 10 for the women and top 10 for the men. But as I mentioned, we have 20 in both different genders here for us today, fighting for just 6 placements as we move forward into the finals later on this evening. We're going to be taking a break a little bit later and then coming back for the speed category as well. As I mentioned earlier on, we have all 3 disciplines here in Haiyang. It's been a while since we've done one of these with all 3. Excitement still to come. Let's have a look now at the women's start lists for you then, see who's going to be coming out first for us today. Just moments away now from getting started, and here you can see on your screen who we're kicking things off with here as well. So it's Chi Heng Sharon Chu who's coming out first, followed by Abdul Roma Sarifa, then Yuki Matsushima, Wang Muren Zeng, Honso Kaori, Kim Seung-yoon, Kim Min-sun, Jiang Rong, Momoka Oda, Vera Zilistra on our first page. Here for the women's lineup on the semi-finals. Some nice names that we're not used to seeing all the time, as we are right out in the depths of China at the moment, in the Asia continent. And here you can see the top athletes who were through from yesterday. As always, it's in reverse order. So at the very bottom there, Akio Noguchi, who was highest to qualify yesterday, will be last out for us here today. Katja Salvine, Dinara Fakutanova, Aya Onoe, Yola Verb, Mio Nanaka, Petra Klingler, Anna Stor, Sassol, and Shauna Coxey finally then with Akio Noguchi. Those are your women semi-finalists here in Haiyang. Going over now then for the men and our start list there, our top 20 after the fight yesterday on the 5 blocks. Conditions a little bit mixed yesterday. Very, very humid here down by the beach. Also had a little bit of rain. That tended to bother the lead climbers more than it did the boulderers yesterday. Obviously they're higher up in the headwind and they don't have so much of a cover as we have here on the bouldering wall. I did speak to Shauna Coxey yesterday though, and she was saying that one of the main problems was bugs yesterday. So these guys are going to have to look out for as we go through the rest of today. She was saying she had to reach up and blow off the layer of bugs off the holds before she could then put her hand up onto the next one yesterday. So interesting, extra little bit of a problem for them to overcome. Here we are then with the men's start list, starting off with Stefano Gizolfi, strangely enough, right down there at the bottom in 20. Then Hugh Cheng Feng, Hugh Hai Bin, Nathan Phillips, our only British athlete here, other than Shauna Coxey. Artem Petrikov for Russia, Kim Javi, Sito Kita, Jan Hoya, Jor Verhoeven and Narasaki Tomoa on our first 10 athletes for the men's to come out. Lee Dong-gun then, followed by Sean McCall, Alexei Rubutsov, Yuichi Mashiro, and Anderson Merchazinski Victor, Park Ji-wan, Horace Kuru, Dmitry Sharafudinov, Chong Jong-won, and then Guillaume Claramonde. Those are our top 20 male athletes that we're going to be waiting to see in a few moments' time. Just a couple of minutes now, be ready for our first few athletes to come out and start on the wall. Bit of a mixed one on this for where they're going to be moving along the wall. The men are going to start off on the far left-hand side on men's problem 1. Then they're going to go back, round the back of the wall for isolation. So you won't get to see much of them on the first few blocks, actually waiting at the front like we normally do, trying to get themselves into the right mindset, listening to music or whatever it is that they do to help themselves relax. They're actually going to be going back and behind the wall. Then moving around to the other far end, over to the right-hand side, they'll then come out to do men's 2, 3, and 4. Now, the same for the women, but the opposite. So the women are going to be coming out on the far right-hand side for the first problem, back into isolation at the back of the wall where they'll be held, and then back round again onto the left to do F2, F3, and F4. So not moving along as we quite often see from either side. On this one, they're jumping from end to end. Makes isolation a little bit easier, I suppose. The athletes have been here and round the back of the wall for a few hours now in preparation in isolation. I saw Dmitry Sharafudinov having a bit of practice on the walls earlier. Then I've over at the back there as well. Some interesting blocks in front of us now. We'll have a look at them while we're waiting here. So as you can see, this is F3 that you're looking at now, with the grey square at the bottom of the wall moving into the orange, with these diamond-shaped volumes at the bottom of it, moving up into a sloper section, up towards an undercling top. And then the promenade you can see on the other side there, that's F4 as well. Again, a lot of slopers up towards a large volume section at the very top of the wall. This is M1 on the far left-hand side. This is where the men are going to be first coming out in a few moments' time. Again, this huge volume to start things off with an undercling start, moving and pressing into the roof before working around that pyramid upside down on the roof section there, getting up onto the top into pinches. And then on the far right-hand side, as you can see there, the green volumes, that's F1, you can see there. Bit of a compression problem here, moving into some plates and into a few more crimps and pinches up towards the top. So not long now before we're getting ready to bring our athletes out. I believe we're about 5 minutes away from that. Some interesting things to report from the last few World Cups though. Akio Noguchi which I kind of feel strange about, because the last time that I was around at one of these bouldering competitions was actually Innsbruck, and one of the things I was saying at that event was, I wonder when it's going to be time for us to see a couple of goals from Akio again. She spent so long fighting out against Anna Storr and coming in that close second or third. Always see her on a podium. When is she going to get the golds again? And that's exactly what she did for the next two competitions, both Toronto and Vale. A gold medal there for her as well. But nice to see a bit of a mix-up in our finalists over the past couple of events. In Toronto, we had Nonaka Mio in the final, and also Julia Kruder, Yerne's sister, making it through into the top 6 in Toronto. Ended up in 6th place. Nonaka Mio ending up in 4th. Jule Worm dropping down into about 5th place at the end of Toronto after pushing for those gold medals and podium positions at the start of the year. And then in Vale as well, we had Megan Mascarenas from the USA in 4th place, making it through. Marine Thevenet yet again making another final. Shauna Coxey dropping off a podium for the first time in a while as well. And then, of course, Fanny Gilbert making it into the 2nd place position for a silver medal. Nice to see some new young talent pushing forward to challenge our top 5 female athletes that we normally see. In the men's as well, another nice little mix-up with Fujiki Koro making it in again into the finals, but Jan Hoyer not making it in Vale. We saw James Kisei making a final as well in Toronto. And then Chong Jong-woon as well in 4th place in Toronto, just missing out on a podium position, losing out to Sean McCall in 3rd place. Jan Hoyer in 2nd, and Guillaume Gléron-Mondé in 1st. Now, Gléron-Mondé has been looking in very, very good form here, and over the past 2 World Cups, we've seen him in exceptionally strong form. The gold medal in Toronto, followed by the silver in Vale. Let's see how he's going to get on here as we move through the day, whether he's going to be able to recreate the same sort of experience that he's had over the past couple of World Cups. So not too long now, roughly 2 minutes left on the clock before we finish things up. The route setters just making the final few tweaks on the wall there. You can see the start on M3, this huge green box that they're putting up there. On the start of M3, another roof section here, you can see them working on it at the moment. Up into an undercling for the bonus. Oh no, actually, sorry, you can see that a little bit closer from where I am at the moment. That undercling that's next to the wall is actually the starting position. That's why they're extending this box here. It's looking like 2 feet down on the black that you can see behind the chair that we've got our route setter working on at the moment, and then 2 hands on the undercling really, really high up. That could cause a problem for some of our shorter athletes. Before moving up into the roof section, out onto a pinch on the bonus, working up the diagonal prow into some more pinches and a pinch top as well on M3. So looking like an interesting set of blocks here. We've also got a lot of interesting things still to come in the lead competition, which is going to be taking place tomorrow, the semi-finals in the morning, where I'll be joined by Ramone's coach, Tony, who's going to be talking with us on the co-coms through that event. Relatively small turnout here in Haiyang, so quite thin on the ground when it comes to the co-coms. I'll be trying to grab as many interviews and chats with people here at the venue as I can as we move through today. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow and having Tony with us through the semi-finals and hopefully, possibly the finals as well. Talking through the lead routes. I have already spoken to the route setters about what the final routes are going to be looking like, and they look pretty interesting actually on the lead, so we're looking forward to that one. As I mentioned, you can be in touch with us here at the venue by getting onto Twitter using the hashtag IFSCWC. I'm not entirely sure how many of you guys are going to be awake actually at the moment. So if you are wanting to get in touch with us, you can do so using the hashtag IFSCWC. Let us know if you are awake wherever you're joining us from. I'm guessing some of the Aussies might still be around. For any of you watching this later on, do make sure you still drop the IFSC a little hello on the Twitter account using the hashtag IFSCWC. So here we are then with our first two athletes. Stefano Gizolfi, you can see there on the left-hand side of your screen on M1. See how he's going to be able to get on with this one. And in the women's we have Chi-Heng Sharon Chi-Heng for Hong Kong. She's on the right-hand side of your screen at the moment, straight onto the wall from her, then no waiting around here. She's 29 years old from Hong Kong. Best result so far to date was a 13th place at the IFSC Asian Championships in Guangzhou in China back in 2008. Stefano Gizolfi, though, frequent face on our circuit. Strange to see him qualifying quite as low as he has at the moment, actually. He's 21 years old from Torino. Frequent medalist on the male junior lead category and also Boulder category as well. The last medal on the seniors that we saw from him was in the men's lead of the World Cup in Xining in China in 2012, where he came third. Now you can see he's right up into the roof now already, dealing with these huge volleys to start with. This is a really awkward lean out now for him. He's got to figure out how he's going to get his feet up and get round onto these three yellow holds you can see ahead of him, walking down to the bottom now. He's got to figure out how to get his hand up onto that lowest of the three yellows here. Is he going to go for a pop? Yep, and very nicely done as well, managing to pull in. Heel hook now, trying to get a bit of a wrap around with the leg. Up to a pinch here. Move that left up, Stefano. Good at the moment. Move away from the top here. And that is a flash for Stefano Gizolfi, looking very good. A nice, smooth, strong start for Gizolfi. Sharon's still down on the ground here, though, on F1. She's had a go already, but here she is now having a little look. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time. Let's have a look at how she gets on with F1 here then. Pulling onto the wall and start positions here. Up with the left onto the first volume here. Probably going to get a heel up or a toe. You've got to go for a toe here instead. Matching on the pyramid. She's now got to figure out how to get up onto the head wall itself. Just without keeping that friction on the wall with her feet. As soon as she takes it off, that's pulling her away from the wall there. It is overhung, as you can see. Bit of an interesting one, this first one for the women. There's a tiny, tiny little piggyback hold on the left-hand green pyramid you can see there. It's a little yellow hold right on the peak of the pyramid. It's clearly used for the feet. And at the moment her main problem is that as soon as she's taking that toe hook away from the start hold, she's swinging herself away from the wall. And what she needs to do, you can just see it there on your screen, that little yellow dot on the right-hand pyramid there. What she's got to do is get her foot up onto that one, left foot up onto there, and then almost side mantle up into the big hemisphere just ahead of her. Shout out to Mikhail, who's joining us, saying greetings from Moscow. Go Russians, Dinara, Artem, Alexei and Dmitry. Some sound issues at the live stream. Apologize, try and get that fixed for you as soon as possible. like she's going to be leaving it there. 20 seconds left on the clock. Unfortunately, no bonus there for her. So here we are with our next athletes out then. Another attempt here in this one. Next for the women is Abdul Roma Sarifa of Indonesia. Next out for the men is Chang Feng of China. First Chinese male athlete here for us on M1. See whether he can replicate Stefano Gazolfi's earlier achievements. Sarifa pulling onto the wall here, up with the left hand. She's from Bandung, she's 20 years old. Best result was a first place at the Asia Youth Championship in Singapore in the female juniors lead. So you're looking at an Asia Youth champion here. Trying to look at the senior bouldering category for us. Up into the roof then. Trying to test whether he feels confident enough with that left hand to lean out towards his next position. Switching the feet, turn the hips away from the wall, and unfortunately back down again. So let's see if he gets on with another attempt in a moment. This is good now though, left foot up here on the women's. This is that awkward side mantle for pushing up towards where that bonus hold is. You can see it just ahead of it there, that little bit of pink tape on the hemisphere. Abdul Roma back down on the ground. 3 minutes and 10 seconds, sorry, left on the clock for her. Feng just spending some time before having another attempt here. Came 23rd at Chongqing last year at the Boulder World Cup. We've seen him at a couple of lead World Cups as well, at Zinning and Changzi back in 2011, the IFSC circuit. Good contingent from China here, as you would expect, on the home turf. Two minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock for these guys. Spending some time shaking out before another attempt. It's a very, very big reach there for Abdul as well on F1, which is into that side mantle. It's how to get up from there. Some of the shorter athletes could have a problem with this one. Minute 40 here. Another attempt then for Chu Changfeng. Nice and easy up into the roof then. Just doesn't feel confident here on this point at all. He's getting that foot a little bit lower now. The left foot. It's allowing him a bit extra to push with. Edging towards the end. He's got to just go for this lean out. And brace it. He's considering a foot there, but there it is. Okay, this is good. Now he's out onto the lean out. Got to rely on that hold on the back of the pyramid there. That was the minute alarm. Unfortunately, can't quite hold on enough to put himself further up. He's Still has some time here, 50 seconds left on the clock. But it's looking like he's calling it a day on that one. So 40 seconds left. Abdul down on the ground as well. Only one top so far today by Stefano Gazolfi on M1. Plenty more still to see. As you can see, they're moving back behind the back of the wall. And you can see just next to where Abdul is at the moment, M2 is the far blue block that you can see just to the right-hand side of where she is at the moment. Male athletes going back behind the wall on the left-hand side, running all the way around to the right and sitting there ready to go on, feed in for the next three problems from that side. The women are doing the opposite. So Abdul's going to be moving around the back of the wall and going down to where we saw M1 a minute ago on the left-hand side, coming out for F2, which is just next to that one. We get ready then with Hu Haibin of China. Born in Hunan. The best result we've seen from him on the IFSC for a while then was 15th at Chongqing in 2013. Good semi-final placement there for him. We also saw him at Chongqing this year. He came 27th. Sharon back out then onto F2 at the moment. You can see just next to where Hu is now at the moment. Here's her starting positions. Quite a few crimps on this one. Not looking too confident at the moment. Big smile on her face. Really spending the time on M1 here, just to figure out exactly what on earth he is going to do around this roof section to get up onto M1. Stefano out then on M2 at the moment on the far side of the wall. A little bit more crimpy than the previous one, but pushing out, power in the shoulders and the hands as you pull round onto the yellow front holds. It's a little bit more crimpy. The whole wall is on an overhang there. It might look like the bottom section is relatively flat or vertical, but it's actually on a slight incline, getting more severe the higher up you go. The bonus hold on M2 is the pinch. A black plate, a red plate a little bit higher up there. Hu going for a bit of a jump onto that swing out overhang on M1. Another one that's a little bit height dependent. With the relative ease of moving through M1. Sharon with an attempt on F2 then. Trying to push out now from the right. Not entirely sure where to go from that point. Quite a severe overhang on F2 as well, straight from the very off. Hu Haibin up on another one. Managing the lean out with quite an ease at the moment. He spent the time to think through this upper section, so he should know what he's doing here. He's using the left hand at the moment though, which is interesting. Matching, and he's got to switch over. Just trying to get a bit of a look at where exactly he's got to get to on the next one. Managing to hold it at the moment. He's going for the high foot. Be better getting that right hand on there first instead of matching and then creating that awkward position. He knows where it is now. But like Stefano, he's just got to go for that swing out and then try and get the left hand up as soon as possible. again later on today in the finals. They also climbed 5 blocks yesterday in the qualifying rounds. Here in conserving energy is not something to be sniffed at. You see 2 Chinese athletes now. As soon as that minute buzzer goes, just calling it a day. This is Nathan Phillips now next up then on M1. I'll go back out now on F2 as well. Yu Renzing out on F1. See there on the bottom screen. So Nathan straight up then into this section here, trying to push up into the roof. See how he gets on. Figure out where to put his feet. So he's going high on this, staying away from the dish. What he needs to do though, he's got to get his hands up into the roof and use the ball itself here. Okay, Nate now putting his left foot into the dish and he's pushed up now into the roof. Struggling to hold that one there, really having to push. See how he gets on from here. He's got a high foot here on this one. And now he's going to be trying to lean back and out. Can he hold it? Bending the arm a little bit too much there and unfortunately coming back down again. He's got plenty of time for another attempt though. So here on M2 at the moment, Gijón Feng. Crimpy block, trying to figure out what he's going to do. All athletes back down to the ground now just to reanalyse the problems in front of them. We're going to go for another attempt here of both the men's blocks. Nathan up and into the roof again. See how he gets out with this lean on. In a minute. Not quite enough. like he's really pushing with his legs there. He's embracing the further fall. And it actually is. You can extend that arm a little bit more. Secure him a little bit better. Another attempt then here from him. High right foot. He's really pushing with his legs there as he's going for that one. Making it almost a jump. Unfortunately, looks like he's calling it there. Over on then to Abdul, but running out of time. Some new athletes out now then. Shout out to Mojka, who's back with us as well then, from Slovenia, almost 3:30 a.m. there. Saying hi to everyone on the Twitter feed. Stefano then back out on M3 at the moment. First athlete we've seen attempt this one. Artem Petrakov now out on M1. Sono Kaori of Japan on F1. First to attempt M3 as well. Sharon. Chiheng Chu Sharon. So we're on to the sloper section for the women's then. Not only F3 with the sloper section, but also F4. Very interesting start on M3. Looks like it's almost a run and jump here. Saying that, it pretty much is a run and jump. Just to get to the start positions. Stefano trying to figure out how to get that second foot up a little bit higher to that plate. There's a pink plate just above the black moon at the bottom of the box there. He's got to get a foot up onto that one as well. He gets the hands up on the undercling. Managing it this time. Putting the foot even higher. Smearing on the roof. So here. Just ahead of him. Here that you can see on the pyramid, just on the corner of the overhang there, suggesting that he's got to do something with his hand at that point. Another attempt. He's definitely got that run and jump start down now. Out with the right again here. Feet up. Toe hook. He's considering going left here. Changing his mind. So F3, the first of these sloper volumes for the women. We can see here at the moment Sharon trying to get up onto the first of those slopers, which is a bonus hold here. I think we'll her. She's in the top right-hand corner of the screen at the moment. Q Haiyang on M2 now, dealing with these crimps. Sono Peori, F1. Stefano getting a little bit frustrated here at the moment. This run and jump start, trying to figure out how he's going to get up onto the bonus. Another attempt from Artem Petrakov. It's the problem that some of the taller athletes could face on M1. And to push themselves into that overhung roof. The advantage they're going to have is actually with the lean out towards the pyramid. They're going to have a greater reach and be able to get over onto that one a little bit easier. Shout out to Brian Teed. He's watched many World Cups on YouTube. This is my first live one, so I'm making it count. Nice to have you with us, Brian. Any questions any of you guys might have, wherever you are in the world at the moment, wherever you're joining us from, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can do so on Twitter. You know the hashtag, it is IFSCWC to the center of your screen right now. That's where you can find us. Kim Jae out now on M1 then. Kim Jae-in's brother. He's in the top left-hand side of your screen. Kim Seung-hoon on F1. See, she's just starting on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, which is orange block with green volumes on it. Nathan Phillips here now, back out onto the crimp section. Plenty more still to come for you today, guys. If you are just joining us live, wherever you are joining us from around the world, I know it's late where a lot of you are. But we have speed to come a little bit later. And then we'll be back tonight for the bouldering finals. That'll be a bit of a better time later on this evening for a majority of you that are joining us from anywhere in Europe. Jabi with another attempt here, then he's getting himself up into the roof. Over to the side here. Very high up with the feet at the moment. Still going even higher, really high with the feet. He's not going to be able to hold that. Interesting, this one on M1. You kind of have to be an ideal height for it to be any form of easy for you. If you're too short, you have to get your feet up high, and that puts a lot of pressure on you leaning back away from the wall because of the incline. If you're too tall, you can't pressure yourself into that overhang because you can't bend enough for it. Just looking at the run and jump on M3 is going to cause quite a few people some problems as well. A good attempt there on M3, not quite enough, unfortunately. Getting your head around this run and jump's a tricksy one. Haven't seen any real progression on F2 or on F3 yet. Every athlete out so far struggling to get off the start. Holmes here on this one. move through once you're off those starting holds before getting up onto the slopers. Javi with another attempt here. Again, the feet riding a little bit high. He needs to come down a little bit here. A bit too high. That's the final minute alarm. Looking good for Q Chang Feng here on M3. Ah, cursed the commentator. Very, very close to reaching out onto a bonus. Managed the starting hold. It has moved out into the roof section. Just 40 seconds roughly left on the clock now for these guys. Gotta keep pushing. Still trying to get a hand into that next hold on F3 as well. Accuracy, very important there on that one. It's a very narrow gap between two holds you have to get your fingers into. This is one of the dangers as well in bouldering. You find somewhere that you feel that you're relatively comfortable in sitting or attempting a block, and you get stuck into just trying it again and again and again, even if it's the wrong way. We just saw it from Yabi Kim then. He got a nice little grip going on the second volume, just after the start holds on M1, but it was pushing him right up into the far corner. His feet were coming up really, really high. He might have a good hold to work with, but it wasn't helping him in the long run. It wasn't allowing him to stand up underneath the roof and then lean out onto the point before swinging out onto the roof. One of the things about bouldering is all about having the confidence to change what you're doing if it looks like it's not working. You only have 5 minutes to work with this. You tried the same thing again and again and again, and it's just not working for you. You're never quite sure as to whether that's just because it's you and you don't quite have the ability to get that move, or whether it's because you're actually attempting it wrong. What about having the confidence to decide on that one? It's looking like we're having a bit of a downpour here then. People just frantically rushing about. You'll have to bear with them. They're just erecting some tents here to try and protect the athletes, I think, at the moment. Massive problem for us because they're now in front of the cameras, so we'll hopefully move them in a few moments. A lot of support here from Japan, a big contingent, both from China and Japan. Shouts of Gamba from the crowd as we're attempting on F2 and F3 on this side of the wall, also on M1. The entire left half of the wall here now taken up some of the Japanese athletes that have made it through into the semi-finals. It's looking good over on F2. Let's see where she goes from here. Big reach for that next move onto the hemisphere, but making an attempt of it. Some progress here over on F4 as well from Sharon Chi Heng. She's trying to figure out how she's going to get over onto the bonus hold. You can see there in the top right-hand corner of your screen, F4 in the right corner. Now those two yellow volumes you can see just edging out higher up. Further out of those is the bonus hold. Just got to get onto that one before pushing up to this crescent shape towards the top of the wall, which hopefully we'll see later on if Sharon has a good run of things finalists in a moment. One minute, 26 seconds left on the clock for these athletes. Stefano out on M4 now. Interesting start on M4 as well. As you can probably see in front of your screens, chaos has broken loose here at the moment because of the rain. They're just trying to get everybody under cover. Hopefully they'll get that sorted in a few moments' time. We can settle down into the rest of the comp here. That's the minute alarm here. Stefano making a bit of a brush on the start holds. He's shaking out on the ground for some further attempts. Over on F2 now, another attempt from Hoso Kiori, who was doing quite well earlier on F2. Managing that little tricky side mantle quite well, but not quite enough ape index here for it to push up onto the next section of the wall. She's got to figure out another way of doing it. We'll see whether she can push out a bit more. She's got 30 seconds left on the clock and a smile on her face. Let's see if that's going to help her as she goes for another attempt on F2. Another rotation here now then. It's looking like we are actually taking a break at the moment. We've got a lot of people on the wall brushing all of a sudden. We've got Kim Jarvi out on M2 at the moment. Let's see how he's about to get on with this one, but it's looking like we're having a bit of a clean on the wall before we get things underway. See Christoph, our technical delegate, out to one side at the moment. Trying to pull the athletes back by the look of things. They're just going to have a clean up. They are calling the athletes back. So it's looking like they're going to reset the clocks in a moment. See Fabrizio also moving athletes back behind the wall into isolation for a moment. Let us know how you guys are getting on at home as well. Any questions you might have, you know where to send them in. There is a hashtag appearing on your screen. Momentarily, you'll see that again. If you don't know it already, it's hashtag IFSCWC. You can contact me via Twitter. Like we're waiting for either a clock reset or we're taking a brief break here now for a moment. See on your screen now some of the blocks a little bit closer up, full screen for you. See F2 there and M1. That's caused some of the athletes some problems. M1. F2 been a big problem for some of the female athletes, as have F3 and F4 actually. Pretty tough set all round for the women blocks here. M3, that run and jump start as well. Stefano Gazolfi making quite good progress on that one, but not quite enough for a top. We have seen progress on F1 as well so far. Clock's now currently at 2 minutes 30. I'm wondering whether the judges and officials are waiting for that clock to run down again before we bring out another set of athletes. Just finding out now for you what exactly is going on here on the ground. Keep you updated. So at the present moment, what's happening is because of the downfall that we've just had, best preparations have been made, but the mats are wet at the moment, which obviously affects the shoes that these guys are wearing when they're coming out. They have to be very, very careful about that. So on the far right-hand side at the moment, it's looking like those are going to get cleaned pretty quickly, but on the far left-hand side, it might take them a little bit longer. It's actually not in front of the wall so much because the wall is covered by a roof. It's actually at the sides. So for the athletes to come out from isolation and move around the sides to come onto the front of the mats, at the moment that means that they're walking over a bit of wet. See whether they're going to put something down or whether they're just going to clean that up for us in a moment. The roof does cover the wall itself, but bringing the athletes out to the front from the back at the moment is a bit of a problem for them as we can't get their shoes wet. Short of offering piggybacks around to the front, not entirely sure how they're going to get around that one at the moment. I'll keep you updated as soon as we know more. So please bear with us, should be back at it in a few moments' time. Remember as well, as I mentioned earlier, a full day of coverage for you today. We're not going anywhere. We've got a Speed World Cup to come for you later on, and then the bouldering finals tonight. Should be a good one. Our top 6 are the athletes that you are now witnessing attempting these walls. The blocks will be reset. 12 athletes, 6 men, 6 women, coming out to try and take home a gold medal at the end of Haiyang 2014. An exciting season so far this year, and so much more still yet to come as well. We're only halfway through the year. We're just getting started with our first Lead World Cup of 2014. We also have the World Championships coming for you later on this year. Big event to look forward to as well. Munich Bouldering World Championships, as well as our lead and speed. Well, the clocks have just run down to 5 minutes. At the moment, still no action either side. Jury president is currently running around trying to get these mats sorted as quick as they can. Please understand, we can't let the athletes' feet get wet at all. At the moment, because of the inclement weather, we're just waiting for a second to try and see if we can sort a situation out for that. Okay, so Magdalena saying not quite fully awake yet, 3 AM, but enjoying the bouldering semi-finals in bed. Thank you for being with us. Moika saying, could any part of the wall get wet? It's funny to see people brushing holes in the raincoats. I would say that we'd have to have some pretty strong wind to actually get the rain onto the wall itself. As I mentioned, the mats actually in front of the wall itself, directly in front of the individual blocks, are actually bone dry at the moment because of the roof. There is a roof section in front of the bouldering section, but on the sides, where the mat extends and around to the back of the wall, that has very little or no cover at the moment, and so those are the parts of the wall that are getting wet. You can just see in front at the moment there, that wet section, that's as far in as the rain is coming. So the part in front of the blocks isn't too bad at all, but at the sides, they're a little bit soaked through. We can't let the feet get wet at the moment, so yeah, people are going to be running around brushing things in raincoats at the moment, in these little mats. That's because they're waiting outside of the section where the wall actually is. And a question as well from Brian Teed saying, how do you think this break will impact the climbers? Will they be able to stay warm? Well, there is a warm-up section at the back there. for the other athletes to use whilst they're waiting. You can see here at the side then just that section there that leads back behind the wall. That's the problem at the moment. There's some of our officials talking about it. About what they're going to do to bring the athletes out, try and keep their feet dry. So please bear with us. Any questions you might have, do send them in. So it's looking like they're bringing in another cover now over that corner of the wall. Let's see whether that's going to be enough to go for. So putting a new cover over the mat to try and make sure that these athletes have a dry pathway from the back of the wall right to the front. Saying, wow, the mats look really wet, hopefully they can fix it soon, I need to get some sleep before finals. It's nice to know that you've got the priorities right there. Sleep for a bit, wake up, back for the finals. You can see here, this is them putting the cover on the far side of the wall. While we are waiting, we've just been told it's roughly 5 minutes before we get started again. Here is a bit of a catch-up chat we had yesterday with Adam Ondra.
And I'm a rock climber.
Adam, this marks your first year back on the return to the lead season and to actually doing IFSC Lead World Cups. Talk to us a little about your decision to come back into lead climbing.
Well, I wanted to have some motivation to train hard. I've been climbing just outdoors, and it's hard to motivate yourself to train really hard and push it to the next level if you can decide any moment to go anywhere you like. But with the competition ahead, it motivates you to stay at home, train hard, and to get stronger.
Have you noticed a difference in the standard in the time that you've been away to coming back now? Has it become harder, do you think?
For me, it's all about the style, which has the certain roots. Because if it's short as it was, for example, in Valence or in Cragne last year, it really fits me and I don't have to train specifically for it. It's just I can start climbing fast, and it's not more than 40 moves and I don't get pumped that much. But if the route gets longer, you can't do it in one breath. You just have to shake out in the wall, and this is what I had to train really hard for. So now after training quite hard, I think I'm as strong as ever, and we'll see how it goes. I did this bouldering World Cup in Innsbruck more like to see how it feels like to do the competition again. But again, for the bouldering, it's kind of climbing that I don't really have to train that much for. If I have a certain level of power for sport climbing, I have that power for bouldering as well.
Now, you recently on-sighted a 9A in Basque Country in Spain. Talk to us a little bit about that project and how long it has been a dream of yours to do this.
Yeah, this route, Il Domani in Basque Country, has been a dream of mine for about 2 or 3 years. And I prepared myself specifically for this route, and just because I had this route in my mind for such a long time, this definitely added a lot into the pressure. And the fact that you have only one go, that makes you nervous. And I can confirm that just before setting off, I was super nervous. But luckily, as I did the first move, all the nervousity just came away. And I did the route, it was on the limit, and that was exactly what I wanted. It felt hard, it felt just on my limit, and at the same time I felt I did some progression in my climbing in the recent time.
Do you feel like on-sighting on your own projects outside of competition climbing actually helps you with the way that it's set out for you here as well? That sort of buzz and the mindset you have to get into to on-site to attempt and complete on your first attempt?
For sure, I think on-site climbing is very similar to the competition itself. The route is hard, the finals in the competitions are always hard as well. The only difference is that you can wait for that perfect moment. In the competition it's different because you have to climb when you are told to climb.
Adam, thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Nice to catch up with Adam yesterday, but here we are then in front of the wall again. These are some of our officials here, Fabrizio and Christoph, with Tim, just sorting things out, deciding when they are ready. What they're doing is resetting the clocks at the moment now, trying to see if the circuit is intact, and as soon as they are ready with the 5 minutes again, we will be getting started with our athletes from both sides of the wall, male and female, ready to start again. It's because they've put a cover now on the sides of the wall, which means that there is a drive path from the isolation onto the front of the mats, which means that we can get restarted. You can see that just there now, the coverage, so please bear with us. Apologies for the little interruption, due to the weather that we've had here and a sudden outburst of rain. It's looking like it's lifting off at the moment, so we should be getting started any moment now. And let's just keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't start pouring it down a little bit later on during our Speed World Cup that we have to cover. There's a little bit less cover on the speed wall. Hoping it won't affect things. Joe Nelson saying you were about to see the first piggyback entrance into a competition. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Keep the athletes at the back, the ones that have finished all 4 blocks. They can be on piggyback patrol for the next time. So the clocks have reset at 5 minutes now, and they're running back down. So our officials are now moving to the side of the wall. You'll probably see people running around in a moment. Just about to see somebody going flying past on the far side. There you are, there's Tim. Getting round to the back. Once this clock has run down to 0 again and reset itself, we'll be ready to start yet again with our next set of athletes. They're just getting things prepared now at the moment. So there you can see the clock and how much time is left before we're getting ready to start again. We have a countdown for you before we get back underway. So you see the head of the IFSC there, just leaning on the wall at the side, making sure things are running accordingly. Watchful eye, Marco Scolaris, just to the left of M1. 3 minutes 52 left on the clock here. Miguel asking, were bouldering and lead qualifications held simultaneously? If so, how did some guys compete in both? Right, well, we started off yesterday with the women's in the morning, in the bouldering, and the men's on the lead, and then we rotated. So the men's came over onto the bouldering, and the women went over onto the lead. So they had a gap in between both. Female athletes were doing bouldering in the morning, lead in the afternoon, and vice versa for the men. That allows them a little bit of a break in between, and then they can compete in both disciplines. There you can see the isolation on the far side with our athletes getting ready to go. 2 minutes and 47 seconds left on the clock before we do start again. Gives the officials just enough time to get things sorted with the athletes and everybody prepared. Notify the people back in isolation that we are about to restart again. If you are next on the wall, to be prepared and be ready for it. Nathan Phillips there, and Kinjabi waiting. 2 Hughes. And Artem Petrikov. See Jan Hoya just in the back there, getting prepared to come out and start attacking the wall. Magdalena asking, is there a difference in the way that events are organised in the West and in the East of the world? The only thing I'd say to that is that there is a difference in the way every single event is organised. It's a local organising committee that then apply to hold a World Cup. They obviously have to adhere to certain rules, prepare things in certain ways, but every single event is different. And there are unfortunately things that you cannot foresee, like the weather. We were told it's actually going to be quite a clear weekend here this weekend. So just 30 seconds and we get started with our next athletes. Jan Hoya waiting at the side of the wall. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on with M1 now. In a few seconds, he's onto the mat. We are ready to go. This is just starting things off again with Jan Hoya on M1 at the moment. And our previous sets of athletes moving out to attempt the next section on the wall. Nate Phillips on M3 now for the run and jump. Like a Oda out here now on F1. Jan taking the time to look at this. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on with this one. He's a very, very tall athlete. The beast that is Jan Hoya. This press out move here. He's got the height for the lean out. Let's see how he manages to wedge himself into the corner. He's going high with that foot, now changing his mind, which is a good idea. You can see how awkward it is for him here, because he can't straighten out. And this is going to be tricky for him. If you can lock out a leg or lock out an arm, it gives you that extra support to really push yourself into the wall, keep you in a comfortable position. If you're too tall for it at this point, it's going to be very, very awkward. Be expanding a lot of pressure. There you can see Yang going straight for it instead, just beasting his way straight onto the swing out. Ignore the roof completely. Very clever move there from him. Up to the next section, and from now, with a bit of campusing, he should be okay. Straight up to the left. We saw Stefano Gazolfi go right first and then left. Now a double heel hook at the back and then straight up to the top on his second attempt. Very good there from Jan Hoyer. Just completely ignore the thing that was going to bring him down on that one, which is not being able to lever himself into that corner. Bypass that, straight out to the swing out. And a nice easy top. This is what bouldering is all about. It's making a block work for you. You can do it your way. So Phillips now up onto M3. On M2 now, Kim Javi. Figure out these crimps here. Kim Seung-gyun on F2. Wang Mu Renzeng on F3. So nice and quick start there for Jan Hoyer on M1. Let's see how he's going to get on as he moves through the rest of the competition here. He's had a fantastic season so far this year. Challenging Dmitry Sharafudinov for a place on the top of the podium on the World Cups. Hopefully the weather's going to hold off for us now. Do without any more rain. Now that the covers have been brought out. Wang Mu Renzeng on F3. Down on the ground here. Repeated attempts from Abdul on F4. How she's going to get up onto the bonus. She has to get right up into that corner pocket on F4 before then moving down and across, coming out towards the bonus hold. Abdul struggling to move off the start holds on this one. We're seeing a repeated thing here on F2, F3 and on F4. Very tricky start for them. From Brian Teed here, are semi-final problems harder, about the same, or easier than the finals problems? Well, out of those, in general, I would say that they're either about the same, or the semi-final problems are actually easier than the final problems. It tends to step up as you move through the competition, get harder towards the end. It's, of course, really hard for these guys as well if they're exhausting themselves over the previous 2 days of qualifiers into the semis on the same day as the finals. They have to be very careful of how much energy they're reserving for later in the day. I saw Jan Hoyer at breakfast actually earlier on. He was looking at the plate that I was eating for breakfast. He leant over and said, "That's exactly what I'm eating from tomorrow." On very strict dietary requirements. He's just eating fruit solidly this morning, keeping himself as light as he can, but a lot of sugars and energy to give him something at the start of the day. Saw Andrzej Murczynski Victor sitting in front here eating a banana earlier. Power bars, anything they can, lots of fruit. Keep that energy up as they move through the day. But it tends to be that as we move through qualifiers into semis and into finals, the blocks get progressively harder. Another tall athlete here, we're seeing Jörg Verhoeven trying to figure out how to get on M1. Again, a similar situation. He's going to struggle to get past that point. He might do better to just go straight out for that overhang. This is what we saw from Jan Hoyer earlier on. Jörg back down on the ground now. Petrikov on M3 at the moment. A lot of strapping here on F2 as well at the moment for Setsu Gita. Sorry, Kim Min-sung. You can see it on her right leg here. A lot of strapping around the knee. Tape. Not necessarily an injury. Could just be there to offer a bit of support. Jörg having a tough time on M1. Starting to play up on his shoulders now as he's trying to press out into that overhang. It's looking like he just took a quick look as to whether he can get straight up onto that. Undercling volume just ahead of him. He's still looking at it now. 2 minutes 15 left on the clock for him. It's looking like he might make an attempt at just bypassing that push into the roof and going straight out for it. So just for the more observant ones of you out there, as you can see on your screen now, the quad screen that we're going for, just to let you know if you haven't spotted it already, which I'm sure some of you have. Yes, the graphics that you've got on your screen at the moment don't match up to the pictures. What you've got there is above the name, there's a little box that lets you know what block they are on. And you can see on the wall, the block number is above that one as well. And that's because we never actually know prior towards turning up at an event which order the blocks are going to go in. The route setters keep that very close to their chests before we get started. So we tend to just run them across there like you can see, M1, and F1, M2, F2. So if you're looking for someone in particular, find the name of the person you're after. Above that on the left-hand side, there is a number of the block, and you can see that on the walls for you now as well to match up who you're looking for on your screens. Artem Petrikov with another run up here then on M3, managing to get into the starting position. A lot of people finding this one difficult. You're really struggling with M1. I thought we'd see this with some of the taller climbers. Over on F1 as well. Good as a list stretch. Having a tough time of things, calling it a day, 20 seconds still left on the clock. Over on F4, Tsushima Yuka. Just moments left to go, looking pretty good there, making a good attempt at that one, but unfortunately no top there for her. Another switch up. A set of athletes out for us now then. Interesting to hear from Mikhail saying Dimitri Sharafutna said to me that semis at bouldering are actually harder than the finals. And then another expedition on that one saying athletes are kind of exhausted before finals, so route setters tend to make it easier but more fun routes, so it's more watchable. Yes, another interesting thing to point out there as well. And the other thing to remember on that one, with me saying that it gets harder as you go through the rest of the day, is that it kind of depends on who's setting the blocks. If they've set a hard semis, then they'll make an easier finals. If they've set a relatively easy semi-finals, if they're kind of confident of how hard the finals are going to be, then they'll make the finals a little bit harder. It's one of those things, like someone was asking earlier, between event to event, what's the organisation like? And I said it's different at every single event. Well, I'd say the same is true for the setting on the blocks. It depends on who's setting it and what kind of mood they're in. Brian Teed saying, if M1 is giving taller climbers a hard time, I bet Sean McCall will flash it when he comes out. Let's wait and see how he gets on. Because the interesting thing was that actually Kim Ja-bi is relatively small, and he's already attempted M1. Now, granted, his beta was a little off. He ended up over onto the right-hand side and hugging the yellowish, the sort of ochre volume there, as opposed to getting up into the roof and really stretching out for the lean out. But we have seen some shorter climbers struggling with that one as well, going about it a different way. This is the way that we've seen now, is the more traditional way to attempt M1 for some of the smaller or medium height climbers. We did see Kim Ja-bi, who's relatively short, earlier on, just going about it completely the wrong way. So it's looking like M1's causing both the tall and some of the short climbers a bit of a tricky time. Just to let you know as well, I know that Moika is saying that the graphics for the female climbers are a little off. On F1 isn't Momoka. That was Vera Zalistri you saw a few moments ago. Now that's because we've just been informed that one of the athletes has unfortunately had to pull out due to a shoulder injury. And because of that, that's put the graphics out a little bit. But we're getting those fixed for you now at the moment. They'll be back on your screen in a few moments' time. Momoka Oda is now out on F2. 2 minutes left on the clock for these athletes. Oda managing to get that left hand up. We haven't really seen this too much yet from many of the other athletes, going into a drop knee and moving across to another crimp. Switching the feet. Bonus just ahead of her with a pinch. She's going to be going up for that in a moment. She's going to get a bit of a better grip on that hold. A little bit too quick up onto the bonus there. Not quite accurate enough, brought her down. Sure, she'll have another attempt. She's got 1 minute 10 roughly left on the clock at the moment. That's enough time for another attempt from her. Oh, no, she's falling it there by the look of things. Interesting to see her leaving with time still left on the clock. Over on F4. here as well for Wangmu Renzeng. Time are running out, fortunately. Very few tops here for these athletes. Vera Zylstra back out now on F2 then. Over on M1. Now we welcome Lee Dong-gun for Korea on M1 at the moment. And Kachisawa now out on F1. Oh, no, that's because of the mix-up. We've actually got Danara Fakhretdinova out now on F1. A European league champion. To compete at the bouldering. So she gets on F1. She's got the side mantle coming up ahead of her. Zylstra now out on F2. Attempts to start on M1 now. Here then on M1, Zylstra on F2. Zylstra very quick here up onto the hemisphere, into the drop knee, moving across. Working well on the crimps at the moment. Bonus just ahead of her. She's going to switch her feet here. Another little foothold, a little bit higher up on the left. There she is, she's got it now. Bonus hold just ahead of her. She's going to pull herself up and in. She needs to be ready to go up with the next hand onto the pinch for the bonus. Getting the foot up a little bit more. There's the pinch. Securing the bonus. Big push out there, but a really good first attempt for her on F2. Managing the lean out here. He's got to figure out how to get round onto the head wall again. On M4. Hosono Kiori on F4 now. Trying to go straight up, bypassing 3 or 4 holds there towards the bonus block. Looking good for Hongun here. Up onto the penultimate hold. Very nearly managing at the top there, but not quite enough. Looks like he's got the beater down though. Let's see how he gets on with another attempt in a few moments' time. Verhoeven on M2, looking good here. 1 minute still left on the clock. Finishing up. Lister with another attempt on F2, swinging out onto that undercling again. Got to sort the feet out before going up for the bonus, and then it's the move from the bonus onto the next plate that's caused the trouble before, and there it is again, causing her a tricky time with things. I think she's going to call it a day there. She's got good positive control of the bonus hold though. A lot of the other female athletes haven't quite managed that. Katja Salvine now out on F2 then. Sean McCall, as some of you were waiting for to see how he gets on M1, is now out on M1. We have Jan Hoyer on M3, that run and jump start. Wanting to brush the wall himself. Mocha Oda on F3 now. Satsol over on F1. Okay, here's Sean then. He's sticking over to the right-hand side at the moment. Foot a little bit lower now. Oh, losing a foothold here. Needs to get the toe in again. It's looking like he's going to go straight for it. He's not going to go for the push-up into the roof. It's looking like he's going to go for some sort of dyno here. Changing his mind, maybe. A little bit unsure of himself. Yeah. Trying to go for that dyno on that one. So here we see it's causing a problem for anybody that isn't roughly middle height, which is very interesting. Taller guys are struggling on the push-up into the roof. Shorter guys are struggling to actually get out onto the next hole from the starting blocks. Very nearly managing that next one. Sean, a different tactic this time, managing to get onto the next section. Figured out a different beater. It's good here. This is exactly what Yabi didn't do earlier. Yabi kept trying the same tactic again and again and again, getting up onto the far right-hand corner, onto the Oka block, and trying to then figure out how to get onto the next hole. Sean going up into the roof and now moving up. It's the easier way to do it. And there it is, good finish there for Sean McCall. And on the ground here for M3. Mocha struggling to get onto the bonus hold on F3 here at the moment. She's managing the first few holds that were causing such a problem for some of the earlier athletes. That accuracy hold with the two reds pinched together. You're going to get the fingers in between them. But it's the move up onto the slopers that are costing her at the moment. Jan's struggling with M3, just getting up and into this roof section here. I'm going to stick with him now as he goes through this next attempt. It's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen at the moment. Straight up onto the bonus, though, which a lot of athletes have struggled to do. So Stefano having that problem. Big swing out now, trying to figure out what to do with his feet. It's moving from there, by the way. He's onto the pinches ahead of him. There's a pinch just ahead of where he was, but he's calling it there. 40 seconds left on the clock. No top there on M3 for Jan Hoyer. Impressive show of strength there from Katja Sabine. With the pinch on the ball, the bonus on F2. But again, can't quite get out onto the plate, and the next move onto the right-hand side to move up for a top. Looking like the bonus is very perfectly placed on that one, around the crooks on F2. Kim Javi on M4. Alexei Rubutsov out on M1 now for Russia. Been a long time since we've seen him. I think it's back in 2012, maybe the last time I saw him. Over here now, they're on F2 at the moment. Alexei Rubutsov, the last time I saw him was back in 2012. It was at the Log Dragonmare competition, the Bouldering World Cup, where he came 7th. But a very good track record on the Bouldering World Cups. He's been on a podium several times here. 2 bronze medals from Munich back in 2011 and in Sheffield back in 2011 as well. Came first at the World Championships as well with the IFSC back in Shanghai in 2009. Here he is now on M1, figuring out how he's going to attack this problem here next to his teammate Danar Fakridinova on F2 at the moment. Veers Listra on F3. Jörg Verhoeven on M3. And it's looking like Eula is now out on F1 as well, her first climb of today. See how she gets on F1, another one to watch out for as we move through this competition. High with the feet for the push. Up to the next one. Heel hook here. Very quickly up onto the sloped plates ahead of him. Matching on the left. He's going to move the right hand out now. And then pop up again onto the final hold. No, not quite enough. Couldn't keep the heels on long enough. Tricky for him there. Veers Listra looking good for a moment there for the Netherlands on F3. Up past the bonus. Stormworker Oda struggling with that one. She's putting on a really, really impressive performance here today. Just struggling at the very last to top out. She's getting through a lot of the problems that most of the other female athletes so far have just been stumped by and finding a new hard point, a new crux higher up on the wall. Let's see how Dinara gets on an F2 for the moment. We saw Vera fly past this point. Can Dinara make it over onto the plate? She's looking comfortable at the moment. Nope, same point as we saw from Vera, and Kachisalvine have a problem on F2. That move from the bonus out onto the purple and green plate. The next move there. Vera looking good. Let's hope she can get a top on this one on F3. Alexi going for another attempt here. What you're saying, so far we haven't seen many tops. Are 2 tops going to be enough for the finals? Let's wait and see. Well, let's just bear in mind for a second that we've got some people that are about to start emerging. Eula Verm has just come out onto the wall. But after her, we've got Nanaka Mio, who made finals very recently. Petra Klingler, who's always in for a good shot at attempting to get near the finals. And then we've got Anna Storr, Sat Sol, Shauna Coxey, and Akira Gucci yet to come. And that, I predict, is looking like we're going to, hopefully, unless something crazy happens, we're going to have the top 4 or 5 with probably more than 2 tops. And then it's going to be how many bonuses you've got, I think, around 1 or 2 tops for that 6th or 5th place later on in the women's. In the men's, yeah, a very similar situation. We've got Park Ji-won still to come. We've got Horis Kuru, Dmitry Sharafudinov, Chon Jung-won, who's just made finals recently and qualified yesterday in 2nd place, and Gijón Guillermo is still yet to come. So it looks like the competition's going to be a little bit tighter in the men's, with Sean McCall knocking around, with Jan Hoyer there as well in the mix. Alexei Robutsov now back with us, just attempting on M1. And Andrzej Merchetinsky, Victor of Poland, who keeps pushing and coming so close to trying to get forward into a final. Could see a first one from him here. I don't know, it could be one of those things that we're going to see that 2 tops could be enough to get you through into the finals. The 6th and 5th place positions. But I wouldn't rule out some of these guys going through with 3 or 4 tops when we get into the real higher ups in the qualifying rounds yesterday in a few moments' time. An example of that, looking at how Jan Hoyer is now getting on M4, breezing past where most of our other athletes have come to, using the power to push right up towards the top. He's got one hand on it now. Second hand, there it is, Jan Hoyer securing a top on M4. So yeah, looking at some of the results that we are kind of knocking around the venue, we've got a bit of an issue at the moment with the Wi-Fi from the judges to get back, which is why you guys aren't getting live scoring. We're not getting it either at the moment. Unfortunately, it's a venue problem. But yeah, it is looking like a lot of it is going to come down to bonuses on this one. Moika, I think you're right. We could be having a 2 top thing, maybe the bottom 3 places and making it through into the finals here. These guys back down on the ground now then. Prize of Gamba in support for Moka Oda, who's on the wall at the moment. Next to her teammate who's just beaten on M3 for time. Nagasaki Tomoa. He's done very well before. See how he gets on. A lot of strapping here on Ayanoe as well on F2 on her left shoulder. She's made finals before, remember, as well, in Innsbruck. M1 now down to Gijón. Monica, you can talk to the commentator. I can see the things you're saying. I'm with you. I agree on this thing. It's looking like it's going to be a tight one at the moment. If you do want to talk to me from wherever you're joining us from, the best way of doing it is by getting in touch with us on Twitter, which is in the middle of your screen at the moment. You can see the hashtag IFSCWC at the moment. Get onto Twitter. Let us know how you guys are doing. Hopefully you're having a fun day like we are. Nice little heel hook here from Katarina Salvine on F3. The tricky thing though, you see, you've got an overhang going on here on F3 with some slopers. Now, the best thing to do is to keep your center of gravity as much beneath those slopers as you possibly can to give yourself the friction on the hands. Interesting different tactic there from Katarina Salvine to try and get a heel up and move her center of gravity further away from the wall. It gave her a little bit of extra height, but then that of course moved her away. And on a sloper like that, you're going to lose some of your friction there if you're not directly below them. It's kind of looking like a little bit of a camper section, so you might be able to get a toe or a heel around the left-hand side of the wall maybe. Samoa looking good here up on M3. Onto the bonus. This is the one that cost a few guys earlier on, Jan as well particularly. Here we are, a quick pop up with the left hand. Very nearly onto that next pinch as well. 12 seconds left on the clock. I think that's going to be it for Samoa, unfortunately, and most of these guys now. Calling it a day there, and another rotation coming up for you now. Yula back out. Vera back out, Dinara, and the first appearance of Andy for Poland, Merczynski Victor. Out on M1 now for you. One to keep an eye on here as well, with a small turnout like we've had here in Haiyang. He could, if he has a good run of things here today, I don't want to jinx it, but he could inch his way into a final here. Petra Klingler now out on F1 as well. Alexia Rubutsov now out on M2. Which I haven't really looked at all that much actually. It's looking like quite a crimpy problem. Got some accuracy going on as you move over the start holds to the right, which is now just about to attempt. There's a couple of crimps that are pinned quite next to each other. There you can see the accuracy didn't quite come off for him there. He's really got to get his fingers in on the first lean out to the right-hand side, wedged in between those two holds. If he's off by even a couple of millimeters, he's going to stub a finger and come off the wall like we just saw him do. He's got to be really accurate as he moves from the start onto that next one. A little bit slower this time. Nice, he's got the hand in now. Switching to the left. Very quick 1-2. Onto the bonus. Interesting one this on M2 actually. See how Alexei gets on with this. The Russians are renowned for liking their crimps. Verhoeven here on M4. Figuring out the start holds. The Nara looking good as well. She's gone for that heel hook fingers again here. Like a lot of them don't want to try anything different once they're past that bonus. It's just about trying to keep those hips in close to the wall if you're going to go with a heel hook there on that one. Where I'm sitting, it's looking that upper section on F3 is really tricky. trainer, Nakanior, which I'm assuming is Anders Murczynski Victor. And I have just seen the tweets from Moika and Brian. My name is Daniel Finn. I'm with you all the way through today. Nice to have you guys with us. If you want to get in touch with us, you know where to go. I will keep trying to check in as often as I can. I'm not looking at the wall, trying to keep track of how the attempts are getting on. Euler then, now on F2. Saying about at the moment it's looking like F1 is a must-do. Yeah, we've definitely seen some of the earlier female athletes struggling with that one earlier today. And looking at what happens after that point, although at the moment look at Dinara Fakhridinova on F3. Really pushing to manage to hold it, but she manages to do it. A look of relief as she hits the mats there. We have now seen a top on F3. Very nicely done by Dinara there at the last. She was shaking as she was trying to hold on to that top positioning there, turning herself away from the wall, but one hand underneath. Had to get that second hand up to secure the top. Nicely done. But then yet again, yes, Moika, I am agreeing with everything you're saying on F1 at the moment. It's the one that we have actually seen a few tops of. It just gets extremely difficult from there on in. We've just seen Dinara manage F3. F2 is really tricky to get from the bonus. Nice different beater there from Euler. Very different attempt on that one. Tried to get a foot across instead of just popping out for that plate. Yeah, the transition from the bonus there is hard. Vera managing to get up onto the bonus hold here though on F4. But yeah, F2, 3 and 4 are looking really tricky. Nice little wedge into the corner. This is what I mean about Vera's performance here today. Managing the early sections of the wall really nicely, trying some different things. Managing to push ahead of what a lot of the female athletes have been trying prior. Not quite enough time on the clock there to allow it to get much further. And another female athlete doing pretty well here today as well, Katja Sarvine, now out on F4. Let's see whether she can improve on what Zilistra's just done. And so we have Anna out on F1 now. So if you fancy turning your eyes over to that one, I'm gathering Anna's going to show us how to handle F1. Park Chi-won on M1 now as well. Shorter athletes. More or less the same height as Sean Paul. Let's see how he gets on. Sean out here on M3. He's not going to like this little runner jump start. But once he's into the main roof section and over onto the pinches, this is kind of Sean's sort of problem. He should enjoy this one. Anna, feet up onto the pinch now. Quick pop up for the top, nice solid hold. Good jug there to finish up on. There's the top for Anna Storm. We'll be seeing her work her way through the next 3 problems. We know are the trickier ones from now on in. We'll see how she gets on. She's on Park. Quite enough. Reluctant to try and push up into the roof with a bit of extra security here. A lot of people back down on the ground now, Gijón not liking the run and jump start here. Another thing that could be height dependent. Easier if you are a bit taller. Yeah, again, Katja trying the same technique here that we saw a moment ago from Vera Zylstra. Not turning out quite so much. As we do with getting another foot, yep, there it is. She's going up for a bit of an awkward drop knee there. Incredibly bizarre position to end up in on F4, right into the corner. Good at the moment, up into the moon as well. Foot a little bit higher now. Manages to get a positive hold on this one. Is she going to pop up to the top of the crescent? Or is she just going to go straight out onto the top hold here? She's matching and switching. There we are. She's got the left hand up now on that one. She's allowed the right to be free. There it is. Katja Salvine at the top of F4 here. Very nice. A couple of guys talking about the names and the matching up here on the blocks that are behind them, just to re-explain that again for you guys. So at the moment we've got M1, F1 onto M2, F2, onto M3, F3, M4, F4. And that runs from the left in the middle to the right, and at the bottom from the left to the right. Now above each name is the number of the block that they're on, and if you look behind the actual graphics at the screen itself, you should be able to see the placards on the wall that tell you which block is which. This is because we never really know the order that the route setters are going to put the problems out. It's one of the things that they keep very close to their chest. We don't really know until we're about to start. So what you're going to need to do is, if you're looking for someone in particular, look for a name that appears. Above that name on the left-hand side, you'll see the block that they're currently on. And then look for it on the wall, you'll be able to find it. But at the moment, it's just running from the left all the way over to the right. The only ones that are going to change and add and new people come out on are M1 and F1 on the left-hand corner of your screen. The rest are just going to move along. You can expect them on every 5-minute rotation to be moving on to the next block. The way that the wall is laid out, if that's confusing some of you, and if some of you can't quite see the plaques on the wall, you've got M1 on the far left, which is in the top left of your screen at the moment. You've got F1 in the bottom right-hand side of your screen at the moment, which is the orange with the green volumes on it. That's F1. And then our athletes are running around the back of the wall, and they start working in from the opposite side from then on. So as you can see, the bottom right shows the far right-hand side, while F2 then is the blue that you can see on the top left-hand corner of your screen, and vice versa for the men. The bottom right-hand corner of your screen at the moment, that's M2. The opposite two sides are the middles, and they're working in from either ends. The women are working from left to right in, and the men are working from left to right out, if that helps at all. Struggling with F4. Euler now out on F3. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start explaining exactly where they are, where I can see them on the screen at the moment. So Anders Emergency Victor is now in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen with the red top on the blue problem. And over on F1, just next to him is Sat Sol of Korea. She's on F1, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen at the present moment in time. Then you've got on the top right-hand corner of your screen, Dinara Fakhridinova on F4 and Yula Verm on F3. You have Alexei Rubutsov on M3, bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Next to him on M4, you've got Lee Donggun. And Skuru Hori on M1, which actually is in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Next to Petra Klingler, who is currently on F2. Yula onto the bonus. Moving on to the ball of a foot here. Squeeze up towards the top. Bit of a shake, but can she hold it? One hand on so far, second foot on. Second hand there. Can't quite cling into the wall. This is exactly what we saw from Dinara Fakhridinova, that shaky moment towards the top and they can't quite make it. 2 minutes left on the clock. Yula having a rest here before making another attempt. She knows exactly what she's got to do now. Dinara just managing to pop up onto F4, get into that corner. Now this part should actually be a little bit easier for her, this compression part of the wall, because she's a bit shorter than some of the other athletes we've had here. Yep, as you can see, she's utterly upside down now. Spread eagle. You haven't seen that before from some of the other athletes. That's where being a little bit short is going to help her. First, reach out. Her height was actually a disadvantage. From now, that's looking good. Top there for Dinara Fakhridinova. That's going to be securing her a place in the finals here after that top on F3 as well. Looking good at the moment. Skuru here on M1, onto the head wall here, up with the left, heel hook around the back, see how he's going to get on. So yes, Dinara Fakhridinova with 3 tops all in all, 1 on the first, and then now with F3 and F4 behind her. That's 3 tops in 7 attempts and 4 bonuses in 9. Kati Salvine currently in second place, 2 tops in 5, 4 bonuses in 8. And at the moment, it's all about that first block, isn't it? Just as Moika was saying earlier, Manaka Mio, Aya Noe, Anna Storr, Petra Klingler, Momoka Oda, Yula Verm, all with that first block. Let's see how they're going to get on with the ones to follow. Well, another interesting thing about that set of results that we have at the moment, nobody so far topping out on F2, but the person that could make that a reality is now out on F2. Worth watching out for. Anna Storr now on F2. Let's see if we can get our very first top on that one. She's in the top left-hand corner of your screen at the moment. Dmitry Sharafutinov now out on M1. It's going to be hard to know where to look in a minute, isn't it? Sharafutinov out on M1, which is in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Shauna Coxey and Sean McCall back out also. Coxey now on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, going into that side mantle on F1. Anna really having a look at the upper section of that wall on F2. Is Dima. Cheeky knee. Unsuccessful on the first lean out. Miguel saying good run for Dinara, 3 tops if she passes to the finals. I hope she'll have some power left for the lead competition. I think she's definitely going to be in the finals here today. She's got lead, semis and lead finals tomorrow as well. It's going to be a very intense weekend for Dinara. So Anna's first attempt not quite successful, but managing to very nearly get some good traction on that plate as she went from the bonus onto the next move. Keeping an eye on her now as she goes for another attempt in a moment. So Dima into a bit of a more comfortable position now. Let's see how he gets on from this point on. He should be okay to go from now. So Moika asking which tops we've seen so far in the men. M1, she remembers. Yeah, we've seen quite a few on that one. Well, I say quite a few, not that many in all honesty, but more than many of the other ones. We saw Jan Hoyer top out on M4, I believe. Other than that, at the moment, it's pretty sparse on the ground here. Anna's still on the ground. 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go. Is anyone going to manage to top F2? Still have a Kyo to attempt it. We still have Shauna yet to attempt it. At the moment, Anna's really taking the time about making another attempt here on F2. We'll see how she gets on now. Here it goes. First section down, no problem at all. Interesting, don't you think, to see the difference between some of the later athletes coming out here, for example, Anna now, and how easy she's made that transition up into the bonus. A lot of other female athletes earlier today having a tough time, I think, with that one. That's the 1 minute alarm left. Dima now out onto the head wall again, getting a heel around the back here. See how he gets on. Going up with the right here. Managing to move across. Struggling here. People asking about the tops and the lack of them, saying not many tops here during the semi-finals. Are they that hard, or is the humidity the problem, or what? They are a pretty tough set of blocks. To be honest, we've said that from the very beginning, specifically with the women's, but also we're seeing M3 being a huge problem for the men. M4 is a tough one as well. M2 with those crimps, and that quick 1-2 is causing a lot of issues. There's a lot of shaky moments, and for example, look at Dima at the moment. He's our current world champion of bouldering, and he's struggling on the first block here. He's had many attempts at this. The blocks are pretty hard. Then you add into that the humidity, the fact that these holes are probably getting a little bit slippy now. The sun's come out here today. There's not that much of a breeze at the moment. A little bit of one, but it is very humid where we are. That could be making a difference here as well. So it's probably a combination of all of these things. Some of these athletes also climbed in the lead qualifications yesterday as well, so they could be a little bit tired from that. Yuleverm out for her final climb of the semi-finals on F4 now then. So Eula's going to need this one at the moment by the look of things on F4. She's doing good at the moment. She's actually doing it the same way that we saw Dinara do it. Spread eagle upside down moment before moving up to this pinch. Really awkward position to be in here on F4. Flexibility is a must for this one. Managing to get up there. She knows that she's got to get the left hand up there as well. She's probably going to have to do some adjusting here. She's going to match, or is she going to switch back down again? It's looking like she's going to switch back down. There we are. Now she's got to get the left hand up to this crimp. She's going up to the right again. There we go. She's got the left on there now. Quick move to the top. There it is. Good for Eula. That should hopefully see her through into the final later on today. Managing to sort out that beater at the end. Tricky positioning. A lot of flexibility needed on F4 as well. Really interesting block there. Chon Jong-won now on M1. Nice to see some support coming in as well on the feed here from Brian T. He's done very well for himself recently. Managing to make it into the finals in Toronto, ended up in 4th place there. Let's see how he can get on here. He qualified very high yesterday. Andrzej Murczyński Victor on M3 at the moment. We're going to see some tops on that one. Petra Klingler down on the mat, just considering what she's going to do here on F3. Alexia Gusov figuring out what he's going to do on M4. But that height there has definitely helped Chon Jong-won on M1. A little bit too quickly on the move up there, hadn't quite secured the heel. Sure, he'll have another go at that in a second. Klingler up onto the bonus. Matching. Up with the left now. Good attempt there from Sassol. Not quite enough to get up onto that plate. F2. Definitely causing the most problems here for the female athletes. Boris Guru now on F2. Another attempt here from Chon Jong-won on M1 on this lean out here. Let's see if he takes the time to get these heels secured now. Bit of a better positioning on the heel this time. Taking his time a little bit more, and there is the top that he needed. Anna back out here again then, and Shauna Coxey on F2. And here is Gijón of France. Very, very good at the moment. A gold medal from Toronto, a silver medal from Vale. Highest to qualify from the semi-finals. Let's see how he gets on M1. Shauna Coxey, can she manage F2? Okay, Shauna for an attempt here now then. Slow and steady, as is her way. Very, very quick up here from Anna Storr. This is looking good. Oh, and that awkward positioning at the top. We saw it from Eula earlier on. We saw Denara really struggle to hold it. That is a tough finish on F3. Shauna here then. Managing to get onto the plate on F2. Keep your eyes peeled now. Not sure what to do with the feet. Swinging in with the left. Got to get a better positioning there. She's managed it up to the next plate. This is looking good for Shauna. Got the toe back on. Last move, can she hold it? There it is, our first top on F2. It can be done. Shauna showing us how. There we are, that's what we want to see. Anna back down on the ground, taking some time here. 2 minutes 30 roughly left on the clock. Plenty of time for her. A top here now on F4. As well, Furanaka. Sorry, no. Higuchi, Mashiro. Top on F4. Very nice performance from her. Good to end on that one. Good to see her through to the finals at the moment. Anna with another attempt then. She was down on the ground just as well when Shauna topped on F2. She's probably quite aware of that. She knows she's got to keep pushing here. Very awkward finish. Can't quite hold it, just an awkward positioning on the hand. At the moment where that right hand is before they're bringing the left one up, it's just creating a really awkward positioning for her to be in. She tries to cross through with the left, and of course as she's doing that she's turning herself away from the wall and from the hold. 1 minute 17 seconds left on the clock. She's got to go for another attempt at this one in a moment. She knows she has. It's just a really awkward finish. Anna up onto the bonus now. Here's another attempt. 27 seconds left on the clock. This is all or nothing time for her. So, another rotation. Klingler now out on F4. On F3, Sassol. We start to break down our wall now. Problem 1 is finished with. Okay, so while watching the next few athletes compete on this section now, good performance here from Sassol. There's the top on that really awkward positioning. We are joined very briefly by Jula Verma, who's just got round to the front, just discussing with Udo about the blocks here. How did you find them today?
Yeah, the boulders are pretty cool, and yeah, the second one is very hard and crimpy, and yeah, but they are cool, yeah.
So do you not, people were asking whether it's the conditions that's making us not see many tops today. We haven't seen many people getting up there, a lot of problems on the wall. Is it that they're very, very hard, or is it that it's something to do with the humidity, or do you think it's kind of a mix of both?
Yeah, I think it's quite hard. Already after the first boulder was so warm and everyone's sweating a lot, and yeah, I think it's kind of humid also. So yeah, the conditions are not the best.
F3 is a really awkward finish on the way up there. How did you find that one, and with getting up towards that top position?
I already found the third move quite hard to the bonus, and then yeah, the holds are a little slippery and it keeps being hard, and yeah, the finish is hard.
But F4 you seem to manage with quite easily. We saw Dinara and you were the first two to actually try this. See, Petra's doing it a different way at the moment. She's kind of keeping back like this and then reaching the hand round. We saw some crazy things from you and Dinara with like your head upside down as you're trying to get up there. It's a really flexible problem. What kind of stuff do you do when you're doing training to help with flexibility? Do you do things like yoga or anything outside of climbing?
Yeah, I do yoga quite often, and yeah, also stretching after each training, and yeah, that's it.
How's the longboarding helping you as a climber, do you think?
I think it's quite good for the balance, yeah.
So you find that incorporating other sports into your training as a climber and being as active as possible in different areas actually helps you with different aspects of climbing?
Yeah, I think overall sport, fitness serves a lot, and yeah.
So in the break then between now and this evening, if you manage to secure this place in finals, I know you're a little bit unsure at the moment whether it's going to be enough to see yourself through, but what will you do between now and the finals to rest up?
I think just go to the hotel and lay in the bed and yeah.
Sleep?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Jula, thank you for talking to us, and I hope all the best to getting towards the finals tonight.
Thanks.
So yeah, I have a few results coming in at the moment. We've seen Dinara Fakhridinova sitting up at the very top of the qualifying positions with 3 tops in 7 attempts, 4 bonuses in 9. In second place at the moment, Akio Noguchi with 2 tops in 2, 2 bonuses in 2, so 2 flashes so far for Noguchi. Shauna Coxey in third with 2 flashes as well. Nia Nonaka in fourth at the moment with 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 5. Jule Verm in 5th, 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 7. And at the moment, Petra Klingler in 6th with 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 8. Anna Storr all the way down in 8th at the moment. She's dependent on F4 here to make a difference, to see whether she can make it through into the finals. In the men's, Jan Hoyer in 1st place with 2 tops in 3, 2 bonuses in 3. Stefano Gazzolfi in 2nd with 1 top in 1, 3 bonuses in 9. Guillaume Gleramonde with a flash so far in 3rd place. Sean McCall with 1 top in 2, 3 bonuses in 7. Nagasaki Tomoa in 5th with 1 top in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. And Chong Jong-won in 6th with 1 top in 3, 2 bonuses in... Sorry, 1 bonus in 2. Those are our top 6 athletes in men's and women's present moment in time. Let's see how these last few athletes are going to make a difference to that. A lot of you excited about the fact that we've seen Shauna come out and manage F2 and then Akio come out and manage F2. Whether that's making a difference to these standings. It definitely has already. We've seen Akio and Shauna make their way into the final. Not that they know it yet. And here is Anna. It's all dependent on this for her. Down again, but Anna's still pushing here. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock. You see the awkward flexible moment on F4. Anna's smiling now, halfway upside down. What exactly am I supposed to do from here? Keep switching that drop knee. There we are. She's moved the left hand up now. It's going to give her a bit more room to play with. Out onto the crescent moon. She's going to switch her hands here, match on the hold beforehand and get that left hand up onto that one. She's going to try and match there. And manage it, now up to the top, and there it is, so Anna manages it. Waiting on an update on the results there to see what that's going to do to Anna Storr's standings. Shauna back to make another attempt on F3. These guys are having a really hard time with things in the semi-finals. That conversation we were having earlier about whether they're easier or harder than the finals. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays on to our finals later on this evening, because these semis have been extremely tough on these guys. So that's moved Anna up into 2nd place. 2 flashes here and 4 bonuses in 4. Shauna and Keo, both with the 2 flashes. Shauna with the bonus in 3, Keo in the bonus 2. It's dropped them down into 3rd and 4th place respectively, but they've still got climbs yet to come yet. But Anna has now just moved herself into 2nd. It's looking a little bit more secure into the finals now. Eula now down into 6th place, right on the edge here. Although most of the athletes that we have left out now are already in the finals. So hopefully it's enough. Madalena asking how many more bouldering events we have for you this season. Well, after this event here, we have Laval in France coming up next weekend. And then a little bit of a break before we're back with the World Championships. Bouldering event from Munich for you as well. So 2 if you include the World Championships, 1 more on the World Cup circuit. Out on F3. She's been proving herself time and time again over the past couple of World Cups. 2 gold medals, no less. Very strong here today. Sassol on F4 now. Horis Kuru on M4. With the start here then on F3. Relatively simple up onto the bonus so far. Tough time of things for Sassol. Akio up onto the pinch here, thumb low, and look how easy she's made that transition onto the top hold there. Very nicely done on F3. That's going to put her right up to the top, I think, at the moment. Yep, up into first place with 3 flashes so far. 1 more still yet to climb. Can she show us a perfect run? Sassol starting off again on F4. She was struggling with this transition out, this lean out, which is very similar to M1 a moment ago. Going up for a guppy with the left hand here. And there we go. No, she can't quite hold it. Looks like she's not pushing up enough with the feet at the moment to get herself into that corner. So it's looking like our finalists are kind of more or less settled now as we're breaking it down to the last few attempts on these blocks with our athletes. It's just more the ordering, which could become important due to the countback in the finals later on. Interesting thing that's happened here with the men's is no Dimitri. Sharafutnov having a tough time of things. We saw him come out on M1 and have it cause him a few problems. Seems like he's been having those problems all the way across here. At the moment, Chong Jung-won, who is currently on M4, is already in the finals in 6th place. Yuleverm just clinging on to a place in the finals in 6th now as well. Back down on the ground now on F4 with just 20 seconds left to go. Unfortunately, she's had too many attempts to actually make the finals already. We're looking pretty set on who our finalists are going to be from now on. Still a Kyo to come out though, and the excitement of whether she's going to manage to make a perfect run here. That could make all the difference when it comes to countback later on this evening in the final. We're ready to welcome Shauna back now onto F4. And Gijón Clairemonde on M3. Dmitry Sharafutinov on M4. Just waiting for some brushing to be done. Here's another update for you as well. At the moment, we're saying that Dimitri's being out. He's only got a bonus at the moment at this point in the competition, but he's out on M4 at the moment in time. His last climb for the semi-finals. He's got 2 attempts to do this in. If he manages to do this in 2 attempts, and then when Chong Jung-won comes out a little bit later to attempt M4, if he fails to do it, and Dimitri does this in less than 2 attempts, Dimitri could essentially slip into the finals in 6th place. Little last-minute excitement for you there. Let's see whether he can do it. At the moment, up by the bonus. That has been an attempt for Dimitri. Let's see how he gets on with this second one. Shauna here with an attempt, and Dima to gear up for another attempt. going to be reliant on how Chong Jung-woon gets on M4 as well. Shauna pushing herself up into the corner here on F4. She could do with another top here to help her on the standing as we go in towards the finals. The last minute left here. Straight up with the left. Good thinking on that one. Drop knee, and there's the top. Nice finish from Shauna Coxey. That's going to help her here. Gijón down on the ground on M3. Trying to figure out where he's going to go from here. He didn't use the bonus hold very much before, a little bit earlier. He's just dropped down, 10 seconds left to go on the clock. No top there for him. That is Dima out of the finals, guys. So, Chong Jung-woon now out on M4 and Akio Noguchi out on F4. Last person that we'll see attempt F4, Akio Noguchi. Perfect run so far. Let's see whether she can do this one now and complete that. Perfect semi-finals. Very good positioning to be in on countback when it comes down to finals later on tonight. Akio just really taking her time here before starting on F4. She's let the first minute run down, analysing the problem in front of her. Giving herself time to think. So at the moment, before Akio has attempted this one, it is Shauna Coxey in first place. Shauna looking good at the moment. Let's see how Akio's going to get on here. Mikhail saying bad day for Dmitry. Absolutely, really strange to see someone, an athlete of his caliber, struggling as much as he has here. Akio really running down the clock. Here we go then. Oh, and there goes the perfect run for Akio Noguchi. A bit too quick on the transition into the corner there. Another attempt. Now we have seen quite a few people take the next hold up before going for that cross. out to the right-hand side. Is Akio going to try and reconsider some tactics here? Maybe. We're going to see her move a little bit higher up. Kuba saying Gandina is out of the final. It is his first time this year. I'm not entirely sure it is, because he wasn't in the finals in Toronto, if I remember. Final 6 there were Gijón Claremonde in first, Jan Hoyer in second, Sean McCall in third, Chong Jong-won in fourth, Rustam Germanov in fifth, and James Gissé in sixth. I'll absolutely agree that it is very unusual that we don't see Dima in a final, and he came first in Vail with a gold medal. Strange to see him struggling at all. Keo having a strange time of things here as well. Very strange beater on this one. Desperate to get that next hold. A bit awkward, and she's really let the clock run down, so no top there on the final one for Akio Noguchi. No top on F4. She's called it a day with 20 seconds still left on the clock, which means that Shauna Coxey will stay at the very, very top of the rankings with 4 tops here today when it comes to countback. So Akio is going to stay in second with 3 flashes. Dinara Fakhretdinova in third with 3 tops in 7, 4 bonuses in 9. Anna Storr in fourth with 2 tops in 2, 4 bonuses in 4. Nonaka Mio in fifth with 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 5, and Eula Verm in sixth, 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 7. Those are your top 6 female athletes. We'll bring those up on your screen in a little while and have a look at those as well before we say goodbye to you. And we're now on our last climb of the semi-finals here with Gijón Claremonde on M4. He's currently already in the finals with 1 flash and 2 bonuses in 2. He's in third place at the moment. Let's see whether he can increase his standing. Again, another one who's taken the time to analyze the route before getting up. Slow for start. Gijón with another brush here. Hasn't done all that much at the moment. He's got 3 minutes left on the clock. He's using up the time. it. He's got the ape index and the height here to pop straight up onto the crescent moon. And down maybe a little bit too much there from the wall. Coming down again. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock, just enough for him to have another attempt here. Here you can see how tacky the walls must be getting at this stage in the humidity. Eula was mentioning it earlier when we had a chat to her about the effect on the wall, especially with so many climbers attempting it. And the humidity at the venue. Gijón with 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Second place at Vale just recently. Gold medal at Toronto, frequent contender, frequent finalist, already in the finals here. We will be seeing him later on. Just trying to get this final one on M4. Guillaume shaking his head. It's looking like he's going to be calling it there. 23 seconds left on the clock. Unfortunately, no top to finish us off here in the men's with Gijón Monde. That's going to leave the standings as they are at the moment, which is Jan Hoyer in first place with 2 tops in 3 attempts, 3 bonuses in 4. Stefano Gazzolfi in second with 1 top in 1 attempt, 3 bonuses in 9. Gijón Monde in third with 1 top in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. Sean McCall in fourth with 1 top in 2, 3 bonuses in 7. Narasaki Tomoa in fifth with 1 top in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. And Chong Jung-won with 1 top in 3, 2 bonuses in 3. So on your screen at the moment, you can see here the top 6 of the female athletes. Akio Noguchi, 3 tops there in 3 attempts, 3 bonuses in 3. Well, actually, this hasn't been completely updated because Shauna has actually managed to top out at the very top of our women's list here with 4 tops all in all. So just give us a second to update these. Okay, so here we are then. This is our listing for our finalists. Shauna Coxey in first place with 4 tops in 7, 4 bonuses in 6. Akio Noguchi in second place with 3 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 3. Actually, it's necessary 4 bonuses in 8 actually now, bonus count. Denar Fakinova then with 3 tops in 7, 4 bonuses in 9. Anna Storr with 2 tops in 2, 4 bonuses in 4. Nakamio in 5th with 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 5, and Eula Verm in 6th with 2 tops in 3, 4 bonuses in 7. Those are your top 6 athletes here in the women's. Let's go over and have a brief look at the men's now then. And there we are with Jan Hoyer at the top there, 2 tops in 3, 3 bonuses in 4. Stefano Gazzolfi actually now down into third place, as Guillaume Gleramondet has moved up on bonuses, exactly what we were saying earlier, Moika there, with 1 top and 3 bonuses in 4. Stefano Gazolfi with 1 top, 3 bonuses in 9. Sean McCall with 1 top in 2, 3 bonuses in 7. Nagasaki Tomoa in 5th with 1 top in 2, 2 bonuses in 2. Tron Jung-won in 6th with 1 top in 3, 2 bonuses in 3. So exactly what we were talking about earlier there, the division of the men's finalists after Yang Haiyang has happened on bonuses this time round, unfortunately. Still a fantastic competition, a great semi-finals here, very, very tough competition for these athletes. We're going to be taking a brief break now. We'll be back with the speed finals a little bit later on today. We'll see you shortly.